Hello, Ally Stevenson families. It's Mr. Wyland here, and we're going to get ready to dive into the one and only Ivan. What you will notice when you look into this book is you don't see the typical chapters. This book is written almost as journal entries from our main character, Ivan, that silverback gorilla who lives in the mall. So you won't see, like I said, those typical chapters, but again, it's more like journal entries. So we're going to start on page 1, and the journal entry is hello. It says, hello, I am Ivan. I am a gorilla. It's not as easy as it looks. People call me the freeway gorilla, the ape at exit 8, the one and only Ivan, mighty silverback. Humans waste words. They toss them like banana peels and leave them to rot. Everyone knows the peels are the best part. I suppose you think gorillas can't understand you. Of course, you also probably think we can't walk upright. Try knuckle walking for an hour. You tell me which way is more fun. I've learned to understand human words over the past years, but understanding human speech is not the same as understanding humans. Humans speak too much. They chatter like chimps, crowding the world with their noise even when they have nothing to say. It took me some time to recognize all those human words and sounds, but I was patient. Patience is a useful way when you're an ape. Gorillas are as patient as stones. Humans, not so much. I used to be a wild gorilla. I still look the part. I have a gorilla's shy gaze, a gorilla's sly smile. I wear a snowy saddle of fur, the uniform of a silverback. When the sun warms my back, I cast a gorilla's majestic shadow. In my size, humans see a test of themselves. They hear fighting words on the wind, when all I'm thinking is how the late day sun reminds me of a ripe nectarine. I'm mightier than any human, 400 pounds of pure power. My body looks made for battle. My arms, outstretched, span taller than the tallest human. My family tree spreads wide and tall. I am a great ape, and you are a great ape, and so are chimpanzees and orangutans, all of us distant and distrustful cousins. I know this is troubling. I too find it hard to believe there was a connection across time and space linking me to a race of ill mannered clowns. Chimps. There's no excuse for them. I live in a human habitat called the Exit 8 Big Top Mall and Video Arcade. We are conveniently located off I-95 with shows at 2, 4, and 7, 365 days a year. Mac says that when he's answering the thrilling telephone. Mac works here at the mall. He's the boss. I work here too. I'm the gorilla. At the Big Top Mall, a creaky musical carousel spins all day, and monkeys and parrots live amid the merchants. In the middle of the mall is a ring with benches where humans can sit on their rumps while they eat soft pretzels. The floor is covered with sawdust made of dead trees. My domain is the one at the end of the ring. I live here because I am too much gorilla and not enough human. Stella's domain is next to mine. Stella is an elephant. She and Bob, who's a dog, are my dearest friends. At present, I don't have any gorilla friends. My domain is made of thick glass and rusty metal and rough cement. Stella's domain is made of metal bars. The sun bear's domain is wood, the parrot's is wire mesh. 3 of my walls are glass. One of them is cracked, and a small piece about the size of my hand is missing from its bottom corner. I made the hole with a baseball bat Mac gave me for my 6th birthday. After that, he took the baseball bat away, but he let me keep the baseball that came with it. A jungle scene is painted on one of my walls. It has a waterfall without water and flowers without scent and trees without roots. I didn't paint it, but I enjoy the way its shape flows across my wall, even if it isn't much of a jungle. I am lucky my domain has 3 window walls. I can see the whole mall and a bit of the world beyond. The frantic pinball machines, the pink billows of cotton candy, the vast and treeless parking lot. Beyond the lot is a freeway where cars stampede without end. A giant sign at the end beckons them to stop and rest like gazelles at a watering hole. The sign is faded, the color is bleeding, but I know what it says. Mac read its words aloud one day. Come to the Exit 8 Big Top Mall, Video Arcade, home of the one and only Ivan, mighty Silverback. Sadly, I cannot read, although I wish I could. Reading stories would make a fine way to fill my empty hours. Once, however, I was able to enjoy a book left in my domain by one of my keepers. It tasted like a termite. The freeway billboard has a drawing of Mac in his clown clothes and Stella on her hind legs, an angry animal with fierce eyes and unkempt hair. The animal is supposed to be me, but the artist made a mistake. I am never angry. Anger is precious. A silverback uses anger to maintain order and warn his troops of danger. When my father beat his chest, it was to say, "Beware, listen, I am in charge. I am angry to protect you, because that is what I'm born to do." Here in my domain, there is no one to protect. Page 11. My neighbors here at the Big Top Mall know many tricks. They're an educated lot, more accomplished than I am. One of my neighbors plays baseball, although she's a chicken. Another one drives a fire truck, although he's a rabbit. I used to have a neighbor, a sleek and thoughtful seal, who could balance a ball on her nose from dawn till dusk. Her voice was like the throaty bark of a dog chained outside in a cold night. Children wished on pennies and tossed them into the plastic pool. They glowed on the bottom like flat copper stones. The seagull was hungry one day, or perhaps bored, so she ate 100 pennies. Mac said she'd be fine. She wasn't. Mac calls our show the littlest big top on earth. Every day at 2, 4, and 7, humans fan themselves, drinking sodas, and applaud. Babies wail, Mac dressed like a clown, pedals on a tiny bike, a dog named Snickers rides on Stella's back. Stella sits on a stool. It's a very sturdy stool. I don't do any tricks. Mac says it's enough for me to just be me. Stella told me that some circuses move from town to town. They have humans who dangle on ropes twinning from tops of trees. They have grumbling lions with gleaming teeth and a snaking line of elephants, each clutching the limp tail in front of her. The elephants look far off in the distance so they won't see the humans who want to see them. Our circus doesn't migrate. We sit where we are, like an old beast too tired to push on. After our show, humans forage through the stores. A store is where humans buy things they need to survive. At the Big Top Mall, some stores sell new things, like balloons and t-shirts and caps that cover gleaming heads of humans. Some stores sell old things, things that smell dusty and damp and long forgotten. All day I watch humans scurry from store to store. They pass their green paper, dried as old leaves, smelling of 1,000 hands, back and forth and back again. They hunt frantically, stalking, pushing, grumbling. Then they leave, clutching bags filled with things, bright things, soft things, big things. But no matter how many full bags, they always come back for more. Humans are clever indeed. They spin pink clouds you can eat. They build waterfalls that are flat without water. But they are lousy hunters. Some animals live privately, unwatched, but that is not my life. My life is flashing lights and pointing fingers and uninvited visitors. Inches away, humans flatten their little hands on the walls of glass that separate us. The glass says that you are this and we are that, and that is how it will always be. Humans leave their fingerprints behind, sticky with candy, slick with sweat. Each night a weary man comes to wipe them away. Sometimes I press my nose against the glass. My nose print, like your fingerprint, is the first and last and only one. The man wipes the glass and then I am gone. Here in my domain, I do not have much to do. You can only throw so many me-balls at humans before you get bored. A me-ball is made by rolling up dung until it's the size of a small apple and then letting it dry. I always keep a few on hand. For some reasons, my visitors never seem to carry any. In my domain, I have a tire swing, a baseball, a tiny plastic pool filled with dirty water, and even an old TV. I have a stuffed gorilla toy, too. Julia, the daughter of the weary man who cleans the mall each night, gave it to me. The gorilla has empty eyes and flappy limbs, but I sleep with him every night. I call it Not Tag. Tag was my twin sister's name. Julia is 10 years old. She has hair like black glass and a wide, half-moon smile. She and I have a lot in common. We are both great apes and we are both artists. It was Julia who gave me my first crayon, a stubby blue one, slipped through the broken spot in my glass along with a folded piece of paper. I knew what to do with it. I'd watched Julia draw. When I dragged the crayon across the paper, it left a trail in its wake like a slithering blue snake. Julia's drawings are wild with color and movement. She draws things that aren't real, clouds that smile and cars that swim. She draws until her crayons break and her paper rips. Her pictures are like pieces of a dream. I can't draw dreamy pictures. I never remember my dreams, although sometimes I wake with my fists clenched and my heart hammering. My drawings seem pale and timid next to Julia's. She draws the ideas in her head. I draw the things in my cage. Simple items that fill my day. An apple core, a banana peel, a candy wrapper. Even though I draw the same thing over and over and over again, I never get bored with my art. When I'm drawing, that's all I think about. I don't think about where I am, about yesterday or today. I just move my crayons across the paper. Humans don't always seem to recognize what I've drawn. They'll squint and cock their heads and murmur. I'll draw the perfect banana, a perfectly lovely banana, and they'll say it's a yellow airplane or a duck without wings. That's all right. I'm not drawing for them, I'm drawing for me. Max soon realized that people will pay for a picture made by a gorilla, even if they don't know what it is. Now I draw every day. My work sells for $20 a piece, 25 with frame, at the gift shop. If I get tired and need a break, I eat my crayons. I think I've always been an artist. Even as a baby, still clinging to my mother, I had an artist eye. I saw shapes in the clouds and sculptures in the tumbled stones at the bottom of a stream. I grabbed at colors, the crimson flower just out of reach, the ebony bird streaking past. I don't remember much about my early life, but I do remember this. Whenever I got the chance, I would dip my fingers into cool mud and use my mother's back as a canvas. She was a patient soul, my mother. Page 20. Someday, I hope I can draw the way Julia draws, imagining worlds that don't exist. I know what most humans think. They think gorillas don't have imaginations. They think we don't remember our pasts or ponder our futures. Come to think of it, I suppose they have a point. Mostly I think about what is, not what could be. I've learned not to get my hopes up. When the Big Top Mall was first built, it smelled of new paint and fresh hay, and humans came to visit from morning till night. They drifted past my domain like logs on a lazy river. Lately, a day might go by without a single visitor. Max says he's worried. He says I'm not cute anymore. He says, Ivan, you've lost your magic, old guy. You used to be a hit. It's true that some of my visitors don't linger the way they used to. They stare through the glass, they cluck their tongues, they frown while I watch TV. He looks lonely, they say. Not long ago, a little boy stood before my glass, tears streaming down his smooth red cheeks. He must be the loneliest girl in the world, the little boy said, clutching his mother's hand. At times like that, I wish humans could understand me the way I can understand them. It's not so bad, I wanted to tell the little boy. With enough time, you can get used to anything. My visitors are often surprised when they see the TV Mac put in my domain. They seem to find it odd, the sight of a gorilla staring at tiny humans in a box. Sometimes I wonder, though, isn't the way they stare at me, sitting in my tiny box, just as strange? My TV is old. It doesn't always work, and sometimes days will go by before anyone remembers to turn it on. I'll watch anything, but I'm particularly fond of cartoons with their bright jungle colors. I especially enjoy it when someone slips on a banana peel. Bob, my dog friend, loves TV as much as I do. He prefers to watch professional bowling and cat food commercials. Bob and I have seen many romance movies too. In a romance, there's much hugging and sometimes face licking. I have yet to see a single romance starring a gorilla. We also enjoy old Western movies. In a Western, someone always says, "This town ain't big enough for the both of us, Sheriff." In a Western, you can tell who the good guys are and who the bad guys are, and the good guys always win. Bob says Westerns are nothing like real life. I've been in my domain for 9,855 days. Alone. For a while, when I was young and foolish, I thought I was the last gorilla on Earth. I try not to dwell on it. Still, it's hard to stay upbeat when you think there are no more of you. But then one night, after I watched a movie about men in black hats with guns and feeble minded horses, a different show came on. It was not a cartoon, not a romance, not a western. I saw a lush forest. I heard birds murmuring. The grass moved. The trees rustled. And then I saw him. He was a bit threadbare, but scrawny, and not as good looking as I am, to be honest. But sure enough, he was a gorilla. As suddenly as he appeared, the gorilla vanished. In his place was a scruffy white animal called, I learned, a polar bear. And then a chubby water creature called a manatee, and then another animal and another. All night I sat wondering about the gorilla I glimpsed. Where did he live? Would he ever come visit? If there was a he somewhere, could there be a she? Or was there just the two of us in the world, trapped in our own separate boxes? Stella says she is sure I will see another gorilla. And I believe her because she is older than I am and has black like stars, and has eyes like black stars and knows more than I will ever know. Stella is a mountain. Next to her, I'm a rock, and Bob is a grain of sand. Every night when the stores close and the moon washes the world with milky light, Stella and I talk. We don't have much in common, but we have enough. We are huge and alone. We both love yogurt raisins. Sometimes Stella tells stories of her childhood, of leafy canopies hidden by mist and a busy song of flowering water. Unlike me, she recalls every detail of her past. Stella loves the moon with his untroubled smile. I love the feel of sun on my belly. She says, "It's quite a belly, my friend," and I say, "Well, thank you, so is yours." We talk, but not too much. Elephants, like gorillas, do not waste words. Stella used to perform in a large and famous circus, and she still does some of her tricks for our show. During one stunt, Stella stands on her hind legs while Snickers jumps on her back. It's hard to stand on your hind legs when you weigh more than 40 men. If you are a circus elephant and you stand on your hind legs while a dog jumps on your head, you get a treat. If you do not, the claw stick comes swinging. Elephant's hide is thick as bark on an ancient tree, but a claw stick can pierce it like a leaf. Once Stella saw a trainer hit a bull elephant with a claw stick. A bull is like a silverback, noble, contained, calm like a cobra is calm. When the claw stick caught the bull's flesh, he tossed the trainer into the air with his tusk. The man flew, Stella said, like an ugly bird. She never saw the bull again. Stella's trunk is a miracle. She can pick up a single peanut with elegant precision, tickling a passing mouse, tap the shoulder of a dozing keeper. Her trunk is remarkable, but it still can't unlatch the door of her tumbled-down domain. Circling Stella's legs are long-ago scars from the chains she wore as a youth. Her bracelets, she calls them. When she worked at a famous circus, Stella had to balance on a pedestal for her most difficult trick. One day, she fell off and injured her foot. When she went lame and lagged behind the other elephants, the circus sold her to Mac. Stella's foot never completely healed. She limps when she walks, and sometimes her foot gets infected when she stands at one place for too long. Last winter, Stella's foot swelled to twice its normal size. She had a fever, and she lay on the damp, cold floor of her domain for 5 days. They were very long days. Even now, I'm not sure she's completely better. She never complains, though, so it's hard to know. At the Big Top Mall, no one bothers with iron shackles. A bristly rope tied to a bolt in the floor is all that's required. They think I'm too old to cause trouble, Stella says. Old age, she says, is a powerful disguise. So that's the first 31 pages of The One and Only Ivan. I hope you enjoyed reading this with me today. Don't forget that all of our read-alouds and resources are located on our website, and we'll be updating you weekly through email, phone calls, and on social media. So please take advantage of this wonderful reading opportunity. Look at those resources, participate in the activities, and don't forget to submit your answers to the weekly reading log. Boys and girls, thank you so very much, and have a wonderful day.